sat at the end of a mile-long private drive, hidden behind iron gates and old-growth trees, the kind of isolation that felt less like safety and more like exile. Maxine stood in the entryway with her single hastily packed suitcase and stared up at a staircase that curved for 2 full stories.
"This is insane,"
she said.
"I can't just disappear for... how long exactly?"
3 months, minimum.
Kane shrugged out of his suit jacket like he hadn't just upended her entire life.
Could be longer, depending on how fast we find who ordered the hit.
3 months? I have a job, Kane. I have rent. I have...
Handled.
He said it without inflection, already walking toward the kitchen.
Your landlord's been paid through the year. Your job, what is it, marketing?
Copywriting,
she said tightly.
And how do you already know that?
I know everything about you, Maxine. Your father made sure of it the moment he found out you existed again.
He glanced back at her, and something flickered behind those dark eyes. Not quite an apology.
Your firm's been told you're taking a family leave. You'll still get paid. None of this is a punishment. It's what your father wanted.
My father is dead,
she snapped, and hated how her voice broke on the word.
He doesn't get an opinion anymore. I do. And my opinion is that I am not staying locked in a mansion with a stranger for 3 months because you made some deathbed promise you feel guilty about.
Kane's expression didn't change, but something in the room's temperature did. He crossed the space between them in 3 unhurried strides, close enough that she had to tip her head back to hold his gaze, close enough that she caught the smell of him. Cedar and gunmetal, and something warmer underneath.
Let's get one thing straight,
he said, quiet and even, which was somehow more intimidating than if he'd shouted.
This isn't guilt. This is a promise I made to a dying man who raised me off the street when I was 12 years old and had nothing and no one. I don't break promises. Not to him. Not ever. So you can hate me for it. You can slam every door in this house. But you are staying, and you are safe. And that is not up for negotiation.
Maxine's chin lifted.
You can't keep me prisoner.
It's not a prison.
His eyes dropped, just briefly, to her mouth, and then snapped back up like he was annoyed at himself for it.
It's a very large house with a pool, a chef, and more books than you'll read in a lifetime. Prisoners don't get any of that.
Prisoners also don't get a say,
she shot back.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, is exactly my situation.
Something that was almost a smile tugged at the corner of his mouth before he smothered it.
You're feistier than I expected.
You expected what exactly? Some grieving girl who'd just do as she's told?
Honestly?
His eyes actually warmed then, just slightly, appraising her in a way that made her pulse do something traitorous.
I expected you'd hate every second of this. I didn't expect you'd be interesting while you did it.
Don't,
Maxine said, stepping back, furious at the flush she could feel crawling up her neck.
Flirt with me. You kidnapped me.
I rescued you,
Kane corrected, mild as anything, already turning to head down the hall.
Your room's upstairs, second on the left. Dinner's at 7. Try not to plot my murder before then.
Maxine watched him go, hands curled into fists at her sides, and told herself the heat still humming under her skin was rage. Only rage. The first week passed in careful, hostile orbit. Maxine took her meals in her room. Kane didn't push. She heard him some nights, pacing the hallway outside her door like a sentry, or downstairs on the phone in a low, clipped voice she couldn't decipher. Always business. Always danger she wasn't allowed to understand. It was the 5th night when she finally came down for dinner, unable to justify one more meal of cold takeout eaten alone while something that smelled unbearably good drifted up through the floorboards. Kane looked up from the kitchen island when she appeared in the doorway, a flicker of surprise crossing his face before he schooled it away.
Didn't think you'd grace me with your presence.
Don't get used to it.
Maxine slid onto a stool across from him, eyeing the pan he was actually cooking, apparently, sleeves rolled up, a dish towel slung over one broad shoulder in a way that was deeply unfair to her concentration.
You cook?
Surprised?
I assumed mafia princes had chefs for that.
I'm not a prince.
Something dark passed behind his eyes, gone as fast as it came.
I'm a kid who used to go hungry a lot. I learned to cook so I never had to again. Old habits.
It was the first real thing he'd told her, and it snagged something in her chest she wasn't prepared for.
Antonio said he raised you off the street.
He found me picking a rival's pocket when I was 12.
Kane's mouth curved. Not quite a smile. Something more complicated.
Instead of breaking my fingers like most men in his position would have, he took me home, fed me, put me in school, made me his. I owe him everything I am.
That's why you promised him,
Maxine said quietly.
That's why I'd burn this city down before I let anything happen to you.
He said it simply, plating a dish and sliding it toward her without ceremony, like he hadn't just admitted something enormous.
Eat. You've had nothing but cold noodles for 5 days, and it's insulting my cooking by association.
Maxine, despite herself, laughed. A small, startled sound she hadn't made since the funeral. Kane looked up at it like it had physically struck him, something unguarded flashing across his face before the wall came back down.
There it is,
he said low.
There what is?
Nothing.
He turned back to the stove, jaw tight, but Maxine caught the corner of his ear going faintly red and filed it away like a secret she wasn't sure what to do with yet.